it starts with interest, right? And curiosity. I would say the very important thing is curiosity, and also looking at where do I want to add value to what I do and to myself, right? And curiosity will allow you to then go to learn, right? Because you can only skill and reskill yourself when you're curious enough to want to do. You need to also have that growth mindset, right? That things are changing, and we need to evolve, right? I love the Japanese term they call kaizen, which is basically sort of continuous improvement, and that's exactly what it is, right? The fact that you need to want to sort of have the determination to wanting to do something different, right? Now, there is a whole host of information out there, right? I mean, now you were spoiled for information, but I think the first thing is to look at the fundamentals on when we talk about digitalization. How does the journey start? It actually starts with looking at your process and saying, what is the challenges I'm facing today? Is it standardized? Can I simplify it? Is there any ways that I can actually eliminate? And then the next thing will be, okay, then once you've done that, then you still think about, then how can I actually automate some of this to reduce those manual things? That thought process is when you start thinking digitalization, because then AI helps you, or machine learning or bots or different things starts helping you to actually start looking at that data or what you're doing and saying, okay, if I am a trader and I want to get market information, well, I can just put it into a simple chat in AI and then just give me analysis, right? So I would say curiosity is the first point. I also say that it's important to keep things simple. Don't get overwhelmed with so much that's out there, because there is a lot. There's a plethora of information out there, and it can get a little bit overwhelming. But I think the most important thing is keep things simple. Look at what you're currently doing and how can you improve your process and add more value to your organization and to yourself. And that's where you start understanding what sort of tools should I use that become more relevant. If we are still booking entries, journals, and still doing some of the manual things that we're doing today, and we feel that we will still be relevant for the future, we're kidding ourselves, right? The reality is that with automation and that, we would then be looking more in QA/QC of information, being able to look at information coming out and saying what, which is quality assurance and quality control, right? Of information. That is going to be the important thing, right? And then also being able to look at macro picture. How's the market moving? And how do I then, based on the information I have, to be able to say, well, actually, my exposures is going to change this way from a treasury point of view, or we need to repatriate this cash, or these are the hurdles that we see in the macro picture. That is where we're going to spend a lot of time. We're going to spend a lot of time on those sort of analysis to drive the business, rather than playing around with data and then copying and pasting, etc. And so if you have today a task where you're copying and pasting just to get a report, all that is going to be redundant. And so it's important then you think about, actually, how do I evolve myself, right? To become the new phone that is touchless, and yet I'm able to still do multiple things and be very nimble.